Hello, Michelle. How's everything going today?
Everything is good. How are you?
Good. What's up? What's shaking?
Not too much. Lindsay, who do you think is the most well-known celebrity in the world?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I mean, who comes to mind is someone like Denzel Washington or Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie. I don't know. What do you think? What comes to mind when you think about that?
When I think about that, I think Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor Swift is
Right now.
probably. I would say
Yeah.
Taylor Swift is also up there.
Yeah.
I would have said someone like Paul McCartney, but not so much anymore because we're getting older, right?
Yeah, things are changing. That was, the Beatles had their day, but people still love the Beatles, don't get me wrong, right? But I think
Not
young kids
necessarily
may
the young generation. They might not
yeah.
even know them.
Unless their parents are listening. Like, I used to listen to Creedence Clearwater Revival with my
Yeah,
parents, and that was from their generation, that music, right? But your
yeah,
parents have to really be into music and be willing to listen to it around you and that kind of thing.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
today we are not talking about celebrities, but we are talking about compound adjectives, two very separate
Oh,
things.
darn it.
Don't worry, we're going to have fun. So this is because well known is a compound adjective. You have a
Yes.
hyphen between well known. So we're going to be getting into this, getting into the mud here, getting into the weeds, but we can
Into the
do it. So
weeds.
but before
Nice.
we get started, we want to remind you to hit follow wherever you're listening to All Ears English so you never miss anything from us. Let us come straight to you
Yes.
like a little good morning, hello present.
Yes, exactly. We pop up right in your listening queue. I know a lot of our listeners love to listen to us on the way to work. If you're walking your dog, you're taking your morning coffee. I mean, we can brighten up your morning, right? And that's
That's
what
right.
our listeners have told us at least. So add us to your queue, hit follow, and we'll show up for you. You don't have to go looking for us, right? That's the
Mhm.
key right there. All right.
All
Good
right.
stuff.
So, Lindsay, this question was from YouTube and it's from our wonderful listener, Sophia, who sent us several amazing questions. So, we're going to get into one of them today.
I am so excited. Sophia has been sending some great questions, so keep them coming. And everyone, send your questions to support@allearsenglish.com. We'll make sure your question gets on our list. All right. Okay.
All right.
Here it is, Michelle. Hey, I'm Sophia. I really enjoy your podcast. It's one of my morning routines. There you go, the morning routine. Thank you so much for your enthusiastic energy that kickstarts my day. I have a question. Could you explain the rules for forming compound adjectives? Specifically, when do you need to use a hyphen between words, like in well known or high pitched? And once you follow the rules, can you create your own compound adjectives? Or is there a limit to how creative you can get while still following the guidelines? Thank you for your answer.
Oh,
Oh my gosh,
this
amazing question.
yes, this is a very good specific question. We love it. We're going to get into it. Thank you, Sophia. Before we get into it, we want to share some results from a Spotify poll we did. This was
Mhm.
from episode 2341, Drama Free English Learning. So, guys, if you haven't listened to that one, go ahead and listen to it. The question was, what's your confrontation style? And it was
Yeah.
non-confrontational, pick your battles, or thrive on drama. Lindsay, would you
Oh
like
my
to
gosh.
share the results?
Yeah, this is so cool because this gives us a chance to really get to know the personalities of our listeners, right? The
Mhm.
typical all ears English listener. Well, the good news is we have a split, right? It's quite an even, relatively even split here. So 40% of you are non-confrontational. 38% of you are pick your battles. So you choose to pick your battles, right? Love that.
Uh-huh.
And then 20% of you thrive on drama.
Ooh. Very
Interesting.
interesting. So,
Yes.
guys, check out that episode if you missed it. And thank you for answering our poll.
Yeah.
So, let's get into these compound adjectives, Lindsay. What is a compound
Mm,
adjective?
yeah. A compound adjective happens when we have at least two words that are connected together in order to describe a noun. So, two
Mhm,
words connected together in order, in the same order, right, to
mhm,
describe a noun. So, the hyphen is
mhm.
meant to connect the two words together, Michelle.
And Lindsay, what is a hyphen?
Now, hyphen is just a little dash, right? A horizontal line that goes between two words. Okay.
And that's spelled hyphen. That's
Mhm.
hyphen.
Yeah, that'll probably be a keyword in the app. So if you're listening in the app, check
Definitely.
that out. Good.
So we're gonna go over a few ways to use these hyphens today, guys. We're not gonna go over everything. There's a lot to learn here, but we're gonna give you a taste and some of the more important points that we think can be helpful for you to start with today.
Yes.
So we're gonna try and have you walk away from this episode with two main ideas, and these are general. There are times when the rules are broken, but we want you to have some of the main ones today.
Love it. Okay. So, what is the first thing we need to know, Michelle, to really
Okay.
understand the answer for Sophia and for our listeners?
All right. So in a compound adjective, you need the hyphen if it is coming before the noun it is referring to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go through this example with what Sophia said. High pitched. She had a high pitched voice.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
in between high and pitched, because we're describing the voice,
Yep.
right? It's
Yep.
going to be a hyphen.
Yeah. Right. And if we just say her voice was high pitched, in that case, we don't use a hyphen, right, Michelle?
Exactly. So you need the one in the first example because you're describing her voice. So another way we want to focus on is numbers and measurements.
Okay.
So if they are descriptive, you use hyphens. So
Mm-hmm.
let's
Okay.
give an example here. He
Uh,
ate the whole 1 foot sub. So between one and foot, there's a hyphen.
yes, I love it. Or let's get even more descriptive with three words inside
hmm
the adjective, right? Our
hmm
12-year-old carpet is falling apart. You don't say, right?
Right.
So where are we putting hyphens here?
Between 12 and year and old.
Yeah, so essentially there are two hyphens there and three words. Okay. And
Right.
again, you guys are probably going to want the transcripts for today. Go to allersenglish.com/subscribe or check out the app to see the transcripts. Okay. Good.
Exactly.
Okay, we're back. So, can you form your own compound adjective? Is the other question that Sophia asked. What do you think?
Yeah, so of course you can. So to form a compound adjective, you need to combine two words that end up being an adjective.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a couple examples of how to form them. So a little formula here is a word and an adjective. So for
Okay.
example, parent friendly, right? Like
Mm. Mm-hmm.
this cafe is very parent friendly. There's a
Yeah.
place for the kids to play.
So it'd be, oh, this is a parent friendly cafe, is what you're saying, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Parent-friendly right.
Okay.
Cafe, right. I messed up the order.
That's okay. Yeah. So we said before we need that hyphen if it is before cafe, right?
Mhm.
Love that.
Or
Mhm.
time-consuming. Time
Yes.
dash or hyphen consuming. So you could say this time-consuming work is really stressing me out, right?
Yes, or I'm working on a time-consuming project, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you can definitely make your own. So you could also do a word and past participle.
Nice.
So for example, you could do well written, right?
Mhm. Yep.
I'm reading the most well written book right now. So well
Yes.
dash written.
Yeah, or he's a well-traveled person, right? Well
Mhm.
dash traveled, and that becomes
Mhm.
the compound adjective. Love it.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So you can make your own. Now, is it always going to work out? Maybe not. Maybe it's better to kind of stick with the ones that are more familiar in the beginning, but you can
Mhm.
play around with them. I don't, Sophia asked about, is there a limit to how creative you can get? I mean, what do you think, Lindsay?
There's no limit when we believe that English is, self-expression. Language is self-expression. Yeah, I would rather have our listeners understand the formula and then try things and then see, did that feel right? Was the person confused? Were they
Mhm.
clear? I think we can express ourselves through
Mhm.
English. Yeah.
Mhm. Right,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And then with numbers, you could do a number and a noun. So for example, I'm going on a 7-day cruise. 7
Yes.
hyphen day. Lindsay, have you
Mhm.
ever been on a cruise?
I can't say I really have, Michelle. I have not been on I figured I'd go on them later in life.
I've been on some cruises. I have to say, They're super fun. I mean, it's
Yeah.
certainly I know, like, you and I, we like to go
Yeah.
get more in and
Pound the
spend more
pavement.
time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly, and then, I don't like the idea of you just go somewhere for a day and then
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
at the port and then you leave,
Right.
but if you just kinda go with the mindset of
Yeah.
I wouldn't go on a cruise to places I really wanna spend time in, but if it's
Yeah.
just kind of a fun
Yeah.
I could stay on a boat for 7 days.
Sure,
The
sure,
boats
sure.
are amazing.
Yeah, it's all about your mindset. You're right, Michelle. I love that. A 7-day
Yeah.
cruise. 7 days sounds about right. Maybe 4 to 7 days, something like that, right?
Right, right.
Or 5-minute oats. I eat 5-minute oats every day. I warm up my old-fashioned oatmeal and it takes 5
Old-fashioned.
minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Old-fashioned is another one. So,
Old-fashioned oatmeal.
do
Mhm.
you really eat the do is that true?
Do I really eat that? Is that crazy? Yeah, yeah, I do. I eat
I
oatmeal
actually
every morning. Yeah.
I wanna start eating oatmeal. I'll let you
Yeah.
know how it goes.
I mean, it works for me. It keeps me full until lunchtime, you know? I don't understand the whole, like, let me have a piece of bread and then
Uh,
I'm ravenous by 10 AM and I can't work and I have to eat and then I'm snacking. It just doesn't work out for me.
Same. I
Yeah.
have eggs and I have,
Yeah.
banana anyway.
Yeah.
More on that another day. So there are
Sure.
more ways to do this, but we gave you a few today. So yes, you can create your own. So some just to review again, you could do a word and an adjective, a word
Mhm.
and a past participle, or a number and a noun. So those are some ways that you can start to play with it a little bit, right? Try and make one from each of these examples and see how it could fit in. I don't think there's a limit. Of course, again, we would rather you go for it and try the formula out and then say, "Oh, wait, maybe that didn't work out so well," than not try it at all.
That's how we learn, right? And preferably trying it by speaking it, right? In connection and conversation, using it in a spoken way. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
All right, Michelle, let's go into a role play. So here, you and I are friends talking about a show that we just saw. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I just loved it.
Me too. Normally, I don't like 3-hour shows, but it was so worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just such a well written show.
Definitely. And I appreciate how they had some parent friendly options with the timing. So there was no need to stress.
Of course. Yeah, I'm going to be going to New York this weekend to see Wicked. I'm super excited. It reminds me of that. Really looking forward to it. Yeah.
That's good. Oh, I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, for sure. Should we go through this role play, Michelle, and break it down?
Let's break it down. All right. So I said normally I don't like 3-hour shows. So 3-hour shows.
Okay. Yeah. 3-hour. That is the compound adjective there. And then I said, yeah, I mean, it was such a well written show. So well dash written or well hyphen written show. Okay.
And then I said, and I appreciate how they had some parent friendly options. Parent hyphen friendly with the timing. So parent friendly options. You could have said kid friendly. So basically, the idea is thinking about the timing. Sometimes maybe there was a matinee, something to make it a
Yeah.
little easier for parents who maybe want to take kids or yeah.
Right. It doesn't work quite as well for an 8 p.m. showtime, right? For little kids, I'm sure that's not the best.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So yeah, a 3-hour show for a kid will never work out, but that's for another day.
All that too. Yeah, for sure. This is great. So, we've gone into this, we've tried to answer Sophia's question. We've kept it a little bit light today. But, if you want to study this on a deeper level, guys, come into our courses, come into our
Mhm.
grammar courses, our B1,
Mhm.
B2, C1 courses.
Mhm.
And this is how we go deeper into our learning. Okay.
Definitely. Love it.
Yes.
All right. So, takeaway for today.
Takeaway is, I think the takeaway is experimentation here.
Mm.
The answer to Sophia is yes, you can create your own compound adjective, and you should. Once you know the formula, you understand when the hyphen is used, when it's not. Fill in the blank and have fun with the language. All right.
Yep, exactly. So there's so much more to this, but this was a really great start. Look out for these in your everyday life and always consider the placement, right? Are we before the noun? Are we after the noun? So those are some things that you might want to consider. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Lindsay, do you think most native speakers know
No, they don't
There's
know
a
this.
type of this.
Most native speakers that aren't writers or editors or
Yep.
grammarians probably don't know this, and they probably just use autocorrect or something
Yeah.
like that in their emails, Grammarly, things like that. So you're already ahead of the game, Sophia, and our listeners for
Yeah.
just knowing
It's
this,
true.
right?
It's true. Yeah, exactly. And don't stress about this. If you're writing a text message to a friend and you're not sure if there should be a hyphen or not, I
Yeah, yeah,
wouldn't stress. If you're doing a school paper, okay, maybe that's something to consider. And
yeah.
but I wouldn't stress about this. But now you know if you really want to be precise what the rules are.
You got it. Sounds good, Michelle. Well, I'll see you back on this show very soon.
All
Okay.
right. All
You
right.
have a
Thanks
nice
for
day.
that
Okay.
question.
All
Bye,
right.
Lindsay.
Bye.